We say to Barcelona fans, that is right. Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy MadridistaFitz, home of Real Madrid's 11th best YouTube channel. Real Madrid studio is loading in my new home. We're getting all my decorations up. I am living in what can only be described as the land of bullshit. These are the darkest of times for Real Madrid fans. This is a World Cup update. We have by far maybe the shittiest content. We try to keep it funny on my channel, but we are living in absolute hell. The only way I can describe how this World Cup is transfolding is like the bullshit Willy Wonka chocolate ride down that river of chocolate bullshit, which is just filled with Real Madrid pain and sorrow. I'm having fucking nightmares over and over again, just like those poor bastards on that Willy Wonka chocolate factory ride. It is the stuff of nightmares. We now have a World Cup final of Argentina with Leo Pepsi and the Barcelona princess himself, Lamine Yamal. Is this a final that I actually fucking want to watch? I don't even fucking know at this point. It can only be described as an absolute fucking madness. And I am living in the land of bullshit. The land of make-believe, where Barcelona is just on top all the fucking time. This has been going on for 2 fucking years of my life. And I'm going to start out this video, this channel, this presentation on Real Madrid's 11th best YouTube channel, talking about Barcelona fans. We'll also go over the game. This is turning into a Real Madrid and Barcelona channel, admittedly. We will also go over the Barcelona players that are playing great at the World Cup. I don't want to be accused of being a favorite, you know. I don't want to be accused of being glaze maxing Real Madrid players like Barcelona glaze max their players. On my channel, I try to be as fair and objective as possible. I try. I do go into the realm of glaze maxing some Real Madrid players, that's for sure, but I'm going to give Barcelona players their flowers in this video, and then we'll go over the World Cup final a little bit. But starting off with Barcelona fans themselves, holy shit. The first side is the Barcelona is back, and it is here with a goddamn vengeance. Holy shit, you'll hear other channels call these guys Barcelona. They really are. Barcelona fans are classic. It's like that little dog in your house that gets no respect. They're the little brothers of Spain. It just is what it is. I mean, Real Madrid is better on every single front when it comes to championships, La Liga championships, when it comes to Champions League success. We are way more successful than them. We're just their bigger brother. We're their older, bigger brother, more successful, more handsome, better looking, you know, has the hotter chick, you know, with better than that redheaded stepbrother that you have. That's all you can describe, you know. We have little brothers otherwhere in other countries like Bayern Munich. They're our little brother, but they're our successful little brother. Now Barcelona has been put in the corner for so goddamn long. I could only describe them as what's on this image. They're like that little chihuahua that's been backed into a corner, and Real Madrid's that fucking regal German shepherd that's just been getting all the love and attention in the family. And finally, it's their time to shine, and they are biting and attacking. All I'm hearing in my fucking ears are just constant barking from Barcelona fans. They haven't had anything to celebrate for about 10, 12, 13 years. Ever since 2015 when they won their last Champions League. They've been absolute dog shit, even financially close to ruin, but they are back with a vengeance. This last 2 years can only be described as their golden generation. They have everything. Everything's been going their way, not a step wrong. They have the best young player in the world, perhaps the best player in the world. They're the Spanish national team, quote-unquote Barcelona team. I will go over that in a minute, is about to win the World Cup. And then to top it off, their former best player, they got the player, shame on them, they couldn't afford Lionel Messi, the greatest player ever's contract. They made him cry like a little bitch and sent him on his way crying out the door. Shame on you, Barcelona, for doing that. You should be ashamed of your behavior and your financial misdoings by not signing the greatest player in the world, Lionel Messi, the greatest player of all time, again to a contract. That is just fucking pathetic on your part. Do better. But yeah, since the last 2 years, Barcelona has done no missteps in their eyes. They've achieved everything domestically. Of course, they've done fucking nothing in the Champions League. We'll go over that with the next slide. But we have what can only be described as a narrative that favors Barcelona fans in the World Cup final. There is no way that Barcelona can lose in this World Cup final. That's just facts. They have a Spanish team that has some Barcelona players that are performing very well. It's comprised of some Barcelona players. It's comprised of a lot of Barcelona players that don't contribute or don't play, but they could win the final, and then they could say this Barcelona team, quote unquote, won a World Cup. We'll go over that. And then they could also claim, hey, we had Leo Pepsi through the prime of his career, and he just banged in another World Cup and has become not only the greatest soccer player, but the greatest athlete of all time. So the Barcelona is back, and it's here with a goddamn vengeance. That's for sure. They're like a little fucking chihuahua. But with every chihuahua, my wife had a chihuahua gator. I love him. I never beat on the dog, but sometimes you just have to put them in their place, like Cesar Chavez.
No, that was the whole thing.
Just give him one of those.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to eventually do to Barcelona. I've lived through Barcelona golden generations before.
Right.
Let's look back to the last Barcelona golden generation before. What is happening right now is a Barcelona golden generation. That's my son in the background. He's watching Monster Trucks. He quite likes that. What do we say to Barcelona fans, buddy? Tristan, what do we say to Barcelona fans? That's right. Cry, little chicken wings, cry. So, the golden generation of Barcelona, the last one that they had, was during the time of Lionel Messi. I don't want to speculate. I don't know off the top of my head how long Lionel Messi was there. This is, by the way, I'm taking a little detour before we get to the World Cup coverage to give some Real Madrid fans hope, because this is a hopeless World Cup. But the time of Lionel Messi lasted, 18 odd years at Barcelona, maybe even 20 years since he was at the academy. And during that time, Lionel Messi won 4 UEFA championships. That's the pinnacle of football. No matter what you want to say, I call La Liga a Mickey Mouse trophy, because it is. It's just a competition between who's better between Real Madrid and Barcelona. There's no sustenance behind it. It doesn't fill my belly as a Real Madrid fan. I quite frankly do not give a flying fuck about winning La Ligas or Copa del Reyes. To me, it's about reaching the pinnacle of club football, which is the Champions League final, and winning that goddamn trophy. But Barcelona, in the time of Messi, they won a total of 4 Champions Leagues. Messi won 4 Champions League. Now, it's kind of controversial if you could say his input even counted in the 2006 one. He did exactly what Lamine Yamal has done in this World Cup, which is contribute exactly 1 goal to that Champions League run. That's what Lamine Yamal has contributed to this Spanish run thus far. That's just empirical facts. That's evidence. So, but we'll even give Lionel Pepsi 4 Champions Leagues. During this Barcelona golden generation, golden age before, Real Madrid exactly won the Champions League not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, 6 fucking times. They won the Champions League 6 times. That's more than Barcelona has done in the history of their godforsaken club. They've only won 5 of those bad boys. So I'm not really fucking concerned with this golden generation that I'm currently dealing with. We will surely be back. Real Madrid doesn't stay down for long. That's just the goddamn truth, the facts of the matter. So during the golden generation of Barcelona, Real Madrid had their best ever run. Even during the time of Cristiano Ronaldo versus Lionel Pepsi, Cristiano Ronaldo led Real Madrid to 4 Champions Leagues. That's a madness. He tied Leo Pepsi. And then we banged into, after the time of Cristiano Ronaldo, that is something Barcelona has yet to do. They have not won a Champions League since Leo Pepsi. Leo Pepsi. I just joke around with my brother about Leo Pepsi, because he's in so many Pepsi commercials, and he the only 3 English words he knows is foul, VAR, and Pepsi. He's a good dude, Lionel Messi. I hope they win the final, by the way. The GOAT, the best player of all time, maybe the greatest athlete of all time. But moving on, there was a game today. I'm living through this golden generation of Barcelona. They certainly are barking in my ears right now. I hear the chatter daily. I hear their gums chattering in my ear. But I can promise you one thing. On Real Madrid's 11th best channel, the heat is fucking coming if we ever get good at football, because I have endured punch after fucking punch after punch like a Rocky film, like Rocky 1. And you know what happened to the bully in Rocky 3? Rocky eventually came back and whooped his fucking ass. So I am just telling all Barcelona fans, watch out if we ever get good again, because I am going to lay it on fucking thick. But moving on, there was a game today. So with England, I titled this slide, "It's Never Coming Home." England bottled the shit out of this game, and the GOAT moves on. England, I said this in my previous video, my warm-up video to the semifinal. I said England was going to have to play a hell of a game. I predicted Argentina to win. Now, was I rooting for England? Of course, I was rooting for Jude Bellingham. I had a vested interest in them moving forward to help save soccer for me. But, of course, they bailed out like a typical English team. This is a history they do in international cups. England fans get extremely excited about their performance, about the way they're acquitting themselves in these major tournaments. And then what ends up happening is they end up shitting the bed. They did this in 1996 in the Euros. They got knocked out by penals in against Germany. Tristan, can you keep it down a little bit? And then in 1998, they got eliminated by Argentina in a shootout. They're particularly bad at penalties. They made it to the Euro all the way to the final in 2020, and they lost to that in Italy. I was rooting for Italy, that's for goddamn sure. And then they lost in the quarterfinals in 2022 against France. And then Tristan, can you keep it down a little bit? Sorry, that's my son. But and then now they just blew this one. They were ahead in this game in like the 85th minute, and then or the 80th minute, you could say, somewhere around then. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was Thomas Tuchel just making defensive subs or whatnot, but one huge sub, and I will glaze the hell out of this player, that maybe he just got burnt out, maybe he was just tired, but that sub of Anthony Gordon, the Barcelona cat, my new favorite Barcelona player, by the way. I fucking love Anthony Gordon. I will stand by that. He's my favorite Barcelona player, maybe my favorite Barcelona player of all time. And I have called this guy a bum before. I owe apologies to him. I will get into that in a minute. But if you are, Tristan, can you please keep it down, buddy? If you are trying to take down a team like Argentina, the only way that you're going to be able to take them down is if you keep coming at them. England tried parking the bus against this Argentina team, and what this Argentina team has continually proved is their class of players. They have great class of players all over the place, led by Leo Pepsi himself, Leo Messi, the greatest player of all time. They have Enzo Fernandez, maybe the most racist player of all time on their team. He banged in a goal today. I'll get into him in a second because I had a buddy text me today saying he was the best midfielder of all time. That's madness. But anywho, they also have Julian Alvarez who can bang in goals. If you let this Argentina team, if you invite them to attack against you, they just have great players that will break you down. And this is a little bit of a headline. It said, "Did England bottle it because of Thomas Tuchel's defensive changes, or were Argentina simply the superior side on the day?" Who the hell knows? That could be up for debate for a while, but he put in a lot of defensive subs, and basically they were just getting shelled the last like 15 minutes of that game. You knew a goal was coming. They basically hit the post twice, I want to say. They were crossing the ball, and Lionel Messi was still dribbling people. It was crazy to see. They were getting absolutely shelled. Pickford, he would have got a knighthood if he would have saved the game for him, because he made some audacious saves. Say what you want about Pickford and his time, at Everton and all that, and his club. Not you, Tristan. His time at Everton and his club performances. The guy's a hell of an international keeper. He's kept England in a lot of competitions. He did everything he could, but man, even the goal that put them ahead, you could tell after they got that tying goal with Argentina that England was thoroughly fucked. They looked defeated. They were like, "There's no way we're going to come back," because once they took Anthony Gordon out, there was really no venom in their attack. Anthony Gordon is a baller. I'm going to just say that straight up. I will glaze max the shit out of Anthony Gordon, what he did at this World Cup. But there was no fight left in England after that goal. And even you could see Enzo Fernandez, right before he scored that banger of a goal, props to him, he had the ball in about 10 yards of space. And then, Tristan, keep it down. He had it in about... Tristan, hold on one sec. I'm going to have to stop this video. Welcome back to the channel. Holy crap. I have a 4-year-old that is just a liability sometimes doing these videos. But, man, you could say what you want about England's performance. You could say they bottled it. You could say that the defense, they got way too defensive. That's what I would say. You have to keep playing positive football. You have to try to go forward. They just parked the bus too early. I will say I am a fan of parking the bus. Maybe the last 5-10 10 minutes of a game, but if you park it the last 20, 25 minutes of a game against a side like Argentina, they're going to hurt you. That's just facts. It was a tough way for England to go out, and it was a really tough way, once again, for another Real Madrid player to go out. Jude the Dude Bellingham, I will stand by it, the best midfielder in the world, certainly the best midfielder at this tournament. One bad performance, he wasn't on his best form today, doesn't take away from what this cat did at this World Cup. He was incredible. When he's on his best form, and when he is healthy and able to give it a go, this guy is dynamic. One thing that you can say about him is he can absolutely bang in a goal. 6 goals at the World Cup is incredible for a midfielder. That is better than any Barcelona fucking bum at this tournament. That's just facts. I know his team's not moving on to the final. He unfortunately plays for a country that is the kings at bottling a tournament. Now, if you want to include and say, I had a buddy just text me saying Enzo Fernandez was the best midfielder in the world, sure, we can have that debate. If we want to include that Pedri is the best midfielder in the world, I will not have that fucking debate anymore. Pedri is the lord of double zeros at this fucking competition. On the biggest stage, he's an absolute bum, and he got himself put on the fucking bench for Spain, probably where he belongs. But what I can say is I'm excited for Jude to come back to Real Madrid. Let's build this team and get the best form around him and Real Madrid players. Tristan, I do not. And then we're going to move on to the glazing part with Barcelona. The Barcelona Glaze Fest. Here it is. This is turning into a Real Madrid and Barcelona Glaze channel for sure. And I will properly give Barcelona players their props, their flowers, their glaze when they deserve it. When they deserve it. I'm not going to glaze Max. I'm not going to blow my load over a certain player if they perhaps have only scored 1 goal in the entire tournament when they're supposed to be universally the best player in the world. I will go over that in a minute, but I will glaze the hell out of some of these Barcelona dudes in this tournament. Let's go over it right now. Home of Real Madrid's 11th best YouTube channel. Don't forget, I can be objective. I can be fair. I can glaze a Barcelona player or 2, or maybe 3, or maybe 4. Let's start with the number 1 guy, the best winger. By far the best winger in this tournament has been Anthony Gordon. It has not been Lamine Yamal. At the end of the day, England would not have made it as far in this tournament without Jude Bellingham and without Anthony Gordon. They have been both amazing at this tournament. Anthony Gordon is my favorite Barcelona player. He will absolutely fucking cook at Barcelona. This was a good signing. I don't know if it was worth 80 million euros. That could be simply just a little too much money for my blood, but this dude is great, and he's really going to fit into... Hold on, 1 second, guys, 1 second. Welcome back. Trials and tribulations of being a father. That's what you have to look forward to when you have a kid. I love him to death. He also, I've been taking him out after the football games, and he has been banging in more goals than a certain somebody at this World Cup. I saw him bang in 5 today, so we have that to look forward to. And if my son gets good at football, he will be playing on the Italian national team. I will get him Italian citizenship. That's for goddamn sure. But one thing I was getting into before I got interrupted again by a certain Tristan, my son, is Anthony Gordon. This cat is going to cook in Hansi Flick's system. Other systems, maybe he wouldn't be as good in, but this guy is like a high-pressing energy dude. He is like the Energizer Bunny. He just runs his socks off. I love that in a football player. He has a great attitude. He doesn't have a face that you want to fucking punch like Rafinha and or Lamine Yamal, the Barcelona princess. He doesn't seem like a scumbag. That's another thing I like about him. And England would not have made it as far as they did without him. He had a quantifiable tournament. He gave 3 assists in this World Cup, and he banged in a goal today. And the goal that he scored today was extremely difficult. My gosh, you have no idea how hard that is unless you played football. The ball was bouncing off the ground, and he had to time it right. I know it was 3 feet in front of goal. People may call it a tap-in, but that is just crazy if you call that goal a tap-in, because legitimately, the skill that it takes when a ball is bouncing, I don't know if it was on his dominant or his non-dominant foot, doesn't matter. The ball is bouncing up, creeping towards you, and when you're that close to goal, It is, you can look like a real goon and a real stooge trying to finish it. Just watch for Ferland Torres try to finish in front of goal that close. It happens all the time. This kid had the composure to square his body up, make sure he put his foot through the ball, and put the ball in the back of the net. And he was really England's best player today. And he's been one of their best players in the tournament, not named Jude Bellingham. So Anthony Gordon, here's your flowers. You are going to cook in Barcelona, my dude. And you might end up being the greatest English player ever to play on the second best team ever in Spain. And that will remain that till the end of the day, till I grow gray and old and die. And even Barcelona might not win a Champions League by then. But I will continue. Another guy that we should universally praise, and I love me some Barcelona boys when they're playing good, is Kubarsi. Anytime you play on a defense that only lets up one World Cup goal, I can only think of another team that did that, another World Cup champion, and that was the 2006 Italy team. Kubarsi is everything that we want in a defender that we don't have at Real Madrid. Now, he has been made to look like an idiot because Hansi Flick employs a stupid high line. I will say the Spanish line plays a little bit higher than usual, but it's not a suicide high line like Hansi Flick. And it's made him look like shit sometimes, getting red cards. That's just facts. It's very hard to defend in a hard line like that because your instincts as a player is to simply grab a jersey if you're about to get beat. But this is everything we wanted at Real Madrid, everything we thought we were getting with Dean Huijsen. This dude is just heads and toes, socks, leagues ahead of Dean Huijsen, leagues better of any center back we currently employ. I rate Paul Kubarsi very high. He is having an excellent World Cup. Any dude on their back line, holy shit, this Pedro Porro dude, I would want him. I think he plays for Tottenham. We're getting Cucurella, who I love. This Cucurella dude, I had zero expectations from him. I wasn't sure because he was a Barcelona Academy guy, an ex-Barcelona fucking bum from their academy that they just cast him off, even though Barcelona Academy guys, and they do have the best academy in the world. I was a little hesitant of him, but there was a stat line about Cucurella the other day. No, he has not been dribbled past one time in this World Cup. That's a fucking madness. And he's banged in assists, more assists than Lamine Yamal. I'll have to look it up, but I think he has 2 or 3 assists. And then another guy that I rate very highly, who is a Barcelona dude as well, Dani Olmo. When are we going to get him his flowers as being the best midfielder for Barcelona? I'm tired of this Pedri bullshit. The guy is fucking the lord of 0-0s. He has contributed nothing to this Barcelona run. I will get into him in a second. But Dani Olmo, he's incredible when given the opportunity. He doesn't even start for most Barcelona games. This guy's had 2 assists and a critical assist in the last game, just dumping the ball off to Pedro Porro. He also is another dude that just generally seems like an okay cat, doesn't have a face that I absolutely want to punch. And then the last guy I'll give props to, Jules Koundé. This guy doesn't suck as bad as every Barcelona fan says he does. He played pretty damn good for the French national team. I watched all the France games. He certainly was not a liability of the backs. It was on the other side, the other dude that was getting absolutely fucking cooked by Lamine Yamal. Now, that other guy, of course, held Lamine Yamal to double zeros because that's what everyone in this World Cup does. That's just statistical facts. But Koundé had quite a good World Cup. Now, I did just glaze the shit out of Barcelona for 5 to 6 minutes. I do that on my channel because I'm objective. Even with the eye test, I do like to do the eye test, but I work in stats to empirical facts. I do give some wrong takes for sure. That's for sure. I gave a hell of a wrong take about Anthony Gordon, and I apologize, my dude, from the bottom of my heart. I will even kiss your little Barcelona feet. I was wrong about you, my dude. You're a good player. But we have to keep this 100 about some of these Barcelona cats this World Cup. If you're talking about performance-based, you had the like of Vinny, Mbappe, Jude Bellingham doing an absolute madness at this World Cup. Now, did their teams make the final? No. Unfortunately, they went out early. That sucks, but they contributed the best they could to the World Cup runs that they were on. Now, here are some Barcelona cats that, holy shit, they've done nothing in this tournament. And it all starts with this so-called, let me move on to my next slide here. It all starts with this so-called Barcelona super team that is comprised supposedly of the Spanish national team. So this Barcelona super team, and I have titled this slide, I will not get accused of glaze maxing. I am not a Barcelona fan I will not fucking glaze max. Now, what glaze maxing is where you glaze the hell, you give the player flowers when they realistically do close to nothing in a game, nothing quantifiable. They might get on the YouTube highlights, they might do some dribbles and all that, but I will not get accused of glaze maxing on my channel. These guys, in my opinion, will be picking up their participation trophy at the World Cup. Now, if you ever played youth soccer in the United States, and this is probably why we suck in the United States, is everyone gets a trophy. Even the championship team, all the players get a trophy. Not the starters, not the guys that contributed on the run. Every player, even guys down on the bench that did nothing, even that kid at the end of the bench that has dandruff, no one smells a little bit, maybe never takes a shower, he has feet made of absolute stone, which I would argue a guy kind of like Gavi, they all are going to get a trophy at the end of this World Cup, whether it is a gold medal and or a silver medal, they will get a trophy. And now these are the players that I will say are picking up their participation trophy at the end of this World Cup. And it all starts with uniformly, or I guess universally, not uniformly, universally, who we have claimed to be the best midfielder in the world for a while, which is Pedri. This dude has sucked hard at the World Cup. It's an absolute fucking madness that people have rated this guy higher than Jude Bellingham. This dude is the lord and the master of double zeros. No goals ever. The guy never will bang in a goal. That's just facts. But even his passing ability, is this guy ever going to get a fucking assist in his lifetime? Certainly not this World Cup. His performance has landed him on the fucking bench. The debate between Jude Bellingham and Pedri is fucking over. I am over that. I will give other Barcelona players their flowers. I will even call Lamine Yamal, the Barcelona princess, the best player in the world if you want me to. I will never fucking say this about Pedri until he actually does something. Now, his partner in crime, the other Barcelona midfielder, Gavi, I have said this on my channel for a while about Gavi. His only talent in soccer, and this is a madness because he is a better soccer player than I could ever be, but his only talent is fucking fouling Jude Bellingham in El Clasicos. This dude, it was a madness, and what I'm getting at is this Spanish national team has moved away from the Barcelona filth that they've employed in the first game. They had guys like Pedri out there. They had guys like Gavi out there. They had Fernan Torres out there. They had a significant amount of Barcelona filth in the first game. Now, they realized they weren't going to do very well with this Barcelona filth, and then they put it on the bench. And they had the other guys, which I gave their flowers to. You know, I gave their flowers. I was objective and gave their flowers, but they had Gavi starting at fucking right wing their first game. And in game one, they identified that this guy's a fucking bum. And I will stick by that forever. Gavi is actually my least favorite player ever to play for Barcelona because the dude just fucking fouls people. That's his only talent. Big Tuna himself, Fernan Torres. This dude, it's hard to hate on him, I guess. He is what he is. He's at least contributed one assist, but I still think he's collecting a participation trophy at the end of this. That's another Barcelona player that's done little to nothing to contribute to this Spanish so-called Barcelona Spanish national team. And then we have Eric Garcia. That guy's played exactly 0 minutes. Pick up your participation trophy at the end of this tournament, whether it is gold or silver. And then Juan Garcia, he's a very good keeper, but pick up your participation trophy as well, my dude. You've played 0 minutes in this World Cup. I'm not going to glaze players that don't deserve it. I won't do that on my channel. I can do whatever the hell I want on my channel, including chew as much fucking gum as I want and say whatever the hell I want, because it's simply my channel. But I will not get accused of glaze maxing. So now it moves on to the narrative, and I'm going to throw this one out here. This is going to be a hot take. It moves on to the narrative of one Mr. Lamine Yamal, the man that looks like Ruth from Ozarks, which I have a theory that I have. If you're new to this channel, I have a hot theory that this man has been abducted. He looks exactly like Ruth from Ozarks without a tan. That's what Ruth. If you're unfamiliar with the show Ozarks, it's about this 16-year-old girl that does a little bit of crystal meth on the side, and she looks exactly like the curly-headed fuck Lamine Yamal, except she doesn't have a tan. Lamine Yamal quite has a great tan, but they're both curly-headed fucks. I have a theory that Lamine Yamal has been abducted by Ruth from Ozarks, and has lost the ability to bang in a goal, to give an assist, to have any empirical impact on these games. So it could be the roof of Ozarks. The Roots from Ozarks is starring in this World Cup for Spain. But Spain is that good that they have not needed the real Lamine Yamal. He's being held hostage somewhere. We all know how good Lamine Yamal can be. That's for sure. We've seen him. He is a domestic queen. That's for goddamn sure. When it comes to La Liga football, there is no one better than Lamine Yamal. Now, when you take him into the biggest stage so far, he was quite good at the Euros. We'll give him his props there. Before I misspeak, he was amazing at the Euros. And but this World Cup has simply not been it for him, in my opinion. And in the Champions League, sorry, dude, you haven't won the trophy. You've had some good games. Barcelona was dog shit in the Champions League last year. That's just the facts, Jack. But they got railroaded by every good team, just like Real Madrid. But this World Cup, he has done stone cold nothing, in my opinion. And it sets up an interesting narrative that I'm going to throw out here right now. And the narrative is, will he pick up his participation trophy at the World Cup and or his participation Ballon d'Or, or will the crown be passed from GOAT, which is Lionel Messi, to the future GOAT, which could be Lamine Yamal? The guy has a lot of talent. That is me giving flowers, by the way. I am saying that Lamine Yamal could potentially be the GOAT. He's almost completed soccer at 19 years old. The guy's won a Euros. He's won La Liga. He probably never will win a Champions League because generations of people are dying before Barcelona has won a Champions League. It's been 12 or 13 years, so maybe that won't happen. Barcelona winning them a Champions League to Barcelona is like pork to Muslims. It just does not mix. It is fucking haram for that to happen. But it's a madness. But the narrative will be, if he continues to do nothing, these are the stats that I have for Lamine Yamal. He is the lord of, if you close your eyes, I do this on my channel all the time. Let's take a little break. Close your eyes. What do you see? It's fucking nothing. He is the lord of zeros. Every game, he just will do some cool dribbling tricks. He will end up on YouTube, but he will just have no impact empirically on the game. Never bang in an assist. No goal or assist contribution in most games, except against Saudi Arabia, which is like the 100th ranked team in the world. Now, when it comes to almost goals and almost assists, he's amazing. This guy, and we have to throw out Barcelona-S stats. So he has almost 12 goals and almost 11 assists at the World Cup. Pretty incredible stuff. So, I'm going to put this on the table right now because I will. You can accuse me of being a Lamine Yamal hater. That's fine. If Lamine Yamal, and this, I will say, he can make up for the whole narrative. I'll just throw this out on the table. I will crown him. I will call him the best player in the world if he contributes anything to this World Cup final. Whether it be a goal, whether it even be a measly assist, I will go ahead and say he's the best player in the world to appease Barcelona fans' beaks. Well, go ahead. Go ahead and do something, Lamine Yamal. Let's see how you fare against the GOAT. Now, will it happen? Who knows? There's no empirical evidence that it will happen, but whatever. We'll see what happens in this World Cup final, which I might not even watch. That leads me to the last slide that I have in this riveting about 40 minutes of just an absolute madness between trying to talk and deal with all this Barcelona bullshit that I have to endure, and my son just creeping up on me nonstop during this video, and I had to escape to a separate room. So the question becomes, who wins? I do not care at all. I really don't. And give me Elise. The World Cup, in my opinion, is dead and gone. Like the Justin Timberlake song, Dead and Gone. I don't give a fuck anymore. I really don't. It is an absolute madness. I'm living in the land. Water. I'm living in the land of bullshit that it just piled on. As a Real Madrid fan, you can only take so much fucking abuse. The last few seasons, everything has gone right for Barcelona. Not a step has gone wrong for them. Even in international tournaments where you thought you were going to get a break, it's still like an all Barca final, if you want to say, even though Lionel Messi doesn't play for Barcelona, even though most of the players on the Spanish national team don't even play. All the Barcelona players on the Spanish national team don't actually play on the Spanish national team. They sit their asses on the bench or contribute nothing to it. So at the end of the day, I don't even know if I'll be watching this final. Maybe I'll turn it on just arbitrarily because I like soccer. I appreciate the game. But if my son wants to go outside and play soccer, I'll turn it off and go out and play with him. I don't have a rooted interest in watching this game. For me, it is all about getting Michael Olise. I think that will bring unity to the force. There has been some dark days. The dark side has been winning for far too long, and I think Michael Olise could be the key. And it's crazy news coming out. The news is Olise wants this move to Real Madrid. So though Barcelona fans have said empirically that this wasn't going to happen, it actually could this summer. And I'll just read the article very quickly for y'all if you're still watching this video. And here we go. Let me pull this up real quick. Bear with me. Olise. The title of this article is Olise wants to sign for Real Madrid this summer. Not next summer, this summer. Bayern Munich star Olise wants to sign for Real Madrid this summer and will talk to Barcelona board after his vacation, according to a report from French journalists, whatever his name is. The German club did not want to sell the player and would demand at least 200 million euros to let him go, with Real Madrid willing to offer the sum to acquire the player. While this report should be taken with a grain of salt, that's fair, it's true that if Olise could be moved, if he manages to force Barcelona's hands, Real Madrid have the money to make this deal work, so it would come down to Bayern's decision. With 6 weeks to go until the deadline, it looks like the Olise saga has just started. That's damn right, fools. Just like the Julian Alvarez saga has just started, we have our own saga at Real Madrid, and that is getting one Michael Olise. For goddamn sure. I think that would bring unity to the force. I think we would absolutely cook with Michael Olise. If Barcelona got Julian Alvarez, that could be some dark times for us again. He is certainly a great player, but I rate Olise very high, and I think if we run, I honestly think, I want to do a full La Liga preview, but I honestly think if we run back the same formula with just that Bellingham, Mbappe, and Vinny versus this Barcelona team, Barcelona already have it figured out in La Liga. Now, they don't do shit in other leagues. They're the queens of Spain, but they have La Liga figured out. They run circles around all La Liga teams, including us. But if we can get Michael Olise, I think that could turn the tides, possibly. I'll go over that in a future video. But at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck who wins this World Cup final. Maybe go Leo Pepsi. That's all I can say. I will say I apologize in my last video for saying that Spain had most of the possession. They did. I had a buddy that pulled up an arbitrary stat. I don't like to give wrong stats. It's actually crazy that a Barcelona fan comes at me with stats, because stats aren't important when it comes to the matrix of Lamine Yamal's performances, but I was empirically wrong in my last video of saying Spain had most of the possession. They did not. It was about an even split, 51 to 50 or 51 to 49. But at the end of the day, all I was trying to say is Spain is a possession-based team. They will try to pass the living shit out of you. That is just facts. That's what they've always done. They will outpass teams by nearly 100 passes. That's what they did to France. These short little passes, the tiki-taka style of football that has its roots in Barcelona, and good for them. Barcelona created one of the most beautiful forms of football. That hats off to them for sure. Has it brought them Champions League success? Not more than Real Madrid, but at the end of the day, Spain does employ a possession-based game. That's all I was trying to get at. I'm sorry for upsetting Barcelona fans on their last videos, but we all know the biggest crybabies on planet Earth are Barcelona fans. Cry, little babies, cry. They'll cry about fucking anything. And I will sign off there. Best of luck to both the teams. Well-deserved. They're by far the best teams in this tournament. England tried to park the bus against Argentina, and they paid for it. And France just sucked hard and got dominated by Spain. Both deserving teams to go into the finals. I will not cry. I will not make excuses for Real Madrid players not being in the World Cup final. That's just not good enough for sure. I'm not a crybaby like Barcelona fans. There's only one bigger set of crybabies on planet Earth, and that was Real Madrid players last season. I hope that fucking changes, but I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to make excuses. Barcelona is currently better than us right now, emphatically, in every character, in every part of the game, but a lot of their players at this World Cup were abysmal. They only have 2 World Cup goals in this entire tournament. To me, that doesn't quantify greatness, and most of their players are on the bench for the Spanish national team. If you want to call this a Barcelona football team, sure, I don't care at this point, but I'm used to the abuse from Barcelona fans. But that's all I'll say. Signing out. This is MadridistaFitz. If you are enjoying this content, please like and subscribe. It is very difficult for me to make these videos, as you can see with the madness that's going on around me. Thank you for watching. Good luck to all the Barcelona players that are 3 of them in the Spanish national team. And best of luck to Leo Pepsi, the greatest player of all time. Certainly, maybe the greatest athlete of all time if he wins this World Cup. Much love, y'all. MadridistaFitz out. Let's talk after the final. Peace.